Hey folks, welcome to Economic Observations. My name is Chris. I am so sorry that I have not put out a video in just about a week. Today is September 13th. Thank you so much for watching. This video is sponsored by the Tanzania School Foundation, a nonprofit near and dear to my heart. Today we're going to do a real quick video. I went to Gillette Stadium yesterday. It is the stadium in which the New England Patriots play. It was an NFL football game. I went there as a volunteer for the Tanzania School Foundation to help run a food concession to raise some much needed funds. My experience was miserable. The stadium was packed. You would never know that we were in some kind of economic challenging times with the debt ceiling about to expire in 2 weeks and the potential of a catastrophic collapse unlike we've ever seen if Congress doesn't pass anything. People paid $60 to $85 to park their car there. They were buying $14 Bud Lights in a plastic cup from a tap and spending $10 to $15 for a hamburger or a sausage. It was unreal. Nobody was wearing a mask. There was no social distancing. There was no proof of vaccine or negative test. And it was a petri dish, if you ask me, even though it is one of the most vaccinated states in the country. 1/3 of hospitalizations in Massachusetts are vaccinated people. So I was very concerned about the risk. I know some people will disagree with me. That's okay. You do you. I do me. I took it very seriously. I wore my KN95 mask, and I was one of the very few people in the stadium to do so. My 6 volunteers that were with me were also masked up. And I was very happy about that. But the whole situation was horrible. People were walking off the job. They were running out of food. They ran out of popcorn in the stadium. At halftime, all the hamburger buns and hot dog buns were frozen, and it was just a disaster. They are running so short-staffed, and they can't find help. And I'm telling you what, all those food stands are run by volunteer organizations, and many of them aren't coming back. I brought my bicycle with me because we park 2 miles away, and we have to get on a school bus, and the school bus did not mandate masks. Gillette did not mandate masks on those school buses, and I refused to get on a bus with 40 maskless people who were working at the stadium. I didn't find that to be a safe thing to do. Let's face it, on every mass transit across the country, whether it be a bus, an airplane, a train, a subway, a boat, or even an Uber and Lyft, people are required to wear masks. And it was not taking place. So I asked Gillette if I can bring my bicycle. Gosh, folks, I haven't rode my bike in 10 years. Had to put air in the tires, and it felt so good. I parked about 3 miles away in a residential area, and I biked to the stadium, and I parked my bike exactly where they told me to, only to have some young, punky security guard who makes $15 an hour rudely tell me to take my bicycle and move it anywhere off stadium property, and that it was not allowed there. Now, folks, I got permission to bring my bicycle. He was asking me, oh, who gave you permission? And I threw out a name, and he said, who's that? So I made some phone calls. I went back to the check-in desk and told them what was happening, and we got pretty much the very top of the hierarchy of the stadium to give the approval for me to leave my bike, and that guy just put his foot in his mouth. He was really rude, young, punky guy, and it was disgraceful how they treat employees and how they treat their volunteers. And this is why stadiums across America can't get people to work. Do you know that if you're a volunteer or an employee, you cannot bring any bag into the stadium? You can't even bring an umbrella if it is raining. Nope, employees can't bring anything. Fans can bring everything, but employees and volunteers can't bring anything. So while I was waiting for approval for my bicycle, there were some volunteers and employees coming, and they had fanny packs on. One couple women had little purses with them, only to be told, I'm sorry, you can't bring that person to the stadium. And some of the people said, well, what do you want me to do with it? And the woman replied, you have to get on a bus, go back to your car, and leave it in your car. And people were saying, hey, listen, if I go back to my car, I'm not coming back. And they left and they said they weren't coming back. I know supervisors who just walked off the job. The anxiety, they were assigned 15 concession stands to help manage with the nonprofit groups. It was unbelievable. Some people were telling me in their 20 years working at that stadium, they've never seen anything like this. It was a major, major problem. And the Patriots lost, so the fans weren't happy because they ran out of popcorn and their team lost. But folks, people were spending money like I never saw before. I was talking to an investment advisor down in Houston, Texas today. He is a good friend of TSF's, and he is helping us raise money for a basketball court and some gym uniforms. And we were talking about the stock market and exactly what's going on. And we really can't, we were talking about the QE and the money being pumped into it. And I was talking to him that there's no rhyme or reason and there's no forecasting because nobody really knows. No one knows what's going to happen to the stock market, right? If they start tapering, if interest rates rise, if the debt ceiling isn't passed, like anything can happen that no one can forecast. But I tell you, if the debt ceiling isn't raised, catastrophic consequences, and we will see the the suspension of the US dollar as the world reserve currency. That will be guaranteed to happen. We cannot afford for our treasury bonds to be downgraded from AAA to AA. We cannot go down to just A. It's just a really bad faith for the whole world. The world over would have ripple effects and repercussions that we've never seen before in the United States. There is a lot to look out for. People at Gillette, people at NFL football games all around the country are clueless to what's going on. This investment advisor, we were talking about QE and tapering and interest rates, and he said 95, 99% of people have no idea what even QE stands for. They have no idea what tapering means. Even some of his clients. All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on. And if you're watching this, consider yourself blessed because you know more than a lot of others. Anyway, I just wanted to make this brief. I haven't put out a video in a long time because my life is just hectic, busy, crazy. Hopefully I'll speak again some more tomorrow. And until then, have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate you. Hey, September is National Suicide Awareness Month. Call someone and tell them you love them. Thanks again.